I started trying to learn chess, I think a little over a few weeks ago for a neurodiversity healthcare related fundraiser. And it's been really fun. I'm definitely still pretty solidly stuck at the beginner stage. Um, Despite my best efforts over the past week, I've been hovering around, 530 plus or minus 10 points. But yeah, I thought it would be fun to go through the different bots on chess.com. And if you're interested in watching a beginner try out the different bots, here's your chance. So Martin was the first bot that I um, played against. Of course, he's the first beginner bot, and by far the easiest and friendliest bot they have. Um, Elani is the second bot, so usually I can do all right against Elani. She is still definitely the second easiest bot, but she does require me to think a little bit more than Martin did, certainly. So yeah, for the opening, I'm trying to just kind of do the standard, pawn to e4, bring out the knight and bishop. Um, and now I should probably actually think about what I'm doing here. So this looks like I can, it's maybe not ideal, but bring this pawn out, and if it's taken, just retake with my queen. Okay, it is. She ignored my pawn, so I'm just going to take on e5. Um, and then I'll just bring my knight out. Okay, so that's pretty clever of her. I can see that her queen and knight are both attacking f2, which is obviously not great since um my own pawn is there. Let's see. I was going to put the bishop on e3, but then I realized that she could retake with her horse. Um, yeah, I wonder what happens if I just, I'll just move my queen up to here. Then I will just take the queen exchange. That's fine. So overall, I'm doing okay. Um, I'll just take that pawn. Why not? I doubled up pawns, so I think that's fine. Um, okay, now I should probably start trying to just, pick out, um, just bring a bishop out to here. Okay. Mm, I'm just going to put my bishop there. So my king is definitely in questionable territory here. Um, but I'm going to I'm just going to bring my king back a little bit. Okay. Um, yeah. Now I have to worry about this pawn chain. That's interesting. So I think that's probably the first blunder, unless I'm missing something. Obviously, if I take the rook with my bishop, she can retake with her knight, but that's fine because, you know, rooks are quite a bit more valuable than knights. Um, yeah, I have noticed with some of the bots, especially some of the earlier bots, that they tend to play a little bit better at the opening, and then they start throwing away pieces to you more towards the end. Um, in a way, it almost feels like when you're a child playing a parent, and then at the end they like, make a couple really obvious mistakes to let you win. Um, okay. Mm, I think I want to just double up my rooks. I don't really have a great strategy here, to be super honest, but I don't think Elani does either, so that's okay. Um, oh, what if let's see. Um, what if I pin this pawn? Then she can take, okay. Fascinating. She chose not to take that, and instead to move. Am I okay? Um, so I'm going to double the rooks up again. My goal is to try and get the rook up towards, which I think I should now be able to do, up towards, um, here. Oh, that was a very bad idea. Line. Okay, so I guess we've now exchanged rook blunders. Um, but not to fear. Let's see. All right, I'm just putting him in a lot of checks. Okay, I'll take this. Can he take with the rook? Yes, but then I can take it back with mine, so uh that should be okay. Okay. Um, I'm going to move the knight down here. Okay. So now I'm going to just take this pawn and I think I'll go here. See if the knight moves. Okay. That was smart of her to move the knight. Um, let's do another check. Yeah, that wasn't probably the most strategic move on my part. I'm just trying to kind of clean up the pawns at this point. Um, okay, got that one. Okay, and now what I'm going to try and do is um, set up basically to try and block off the G column with my rook. Um, not caring really. Oh, I mean, I have to obviously like make sure that that pawn doesn't make it all the way down, but that's fine. Um, yeah, maybe I'm being too reckless here, but I don't really care all that much, what happens. Um, I don't think. Okay, there we go. Oh, perfect. We'll take um the knight. Um, and now I think I want to try and walk the king over so that he's trapped. Okay, so put my rook here and queen, and that should be checkmate. Great. So yeah, that was kind of fun to play. Yeah, obviously still one of the easier bots, and already making me think a little bit, but it's fun. It looks like the next spot will be who's the next spot? Oh, the next spot is Janjay. So I have played that bot before as well. And usually have success against that bot. But yeah, Martin and Lonnie are bots that I pretty much always do win against, and then Janjay, I have a slightly higher loss rate against. And then once we get to Sven, then I'm in much more trouble and it's really quite hit or miss. And I have not yet beat Nelson. So yeah, curious to see how things progress as I hopefully get the chance to study a bit more. I have found chess to be pretty enjoyable. It's been kind of neat to be able to do a hobby that my background was in physics, and I finished my doctoral or PhD in physics a few years ago. And then I switched to autism research because I just feel like the field is quite personally meaningful to me, and so on. And I'm grateful that I was able to switch. Yeah, I really enjoy the field of autism research, but one thing that I've been missing a bit recently is the chance to, um, yeah, I guess to be part of a hobby or activity that is a little bit more structured, with qualitative work, whether it's, autism research or writing or really anything that has a bit more subjectivity to it. Like you never know for sure when you're done, and you never know for sure how you've done because even if something seems really good, you might like later learn that um totally new piece of information that changes your perspective on something you wrote or um realize that you should have included this subsection or should have expanded more here. And I think something that's, I guess, more structured and self-contained like chess has been such a nice uh, balance to that. Um, it just provides like a little bit more, even though there's a lot of uncertainty about like who will win, how I'll do, like how fast I'll be able to learn it, whether I'll ever be, quote unquote, good at chess. Um, there's, I think, a little bit more certainty within the game itself. And because it is, at least for me, obviously like, very much a hobby, a game, not something that I'm doing super seriously. Um, even losing is pretty neat because it feels like someone else unlocked this puzzle against me and now I get to learn from their knowledge. So yeah. Okay, I'll stop rambling now. I hope all is well. And yeah, hopefully this was interesting for at least someone out there. Bye.